In our previous class, we had added this human approved activity over here in our process automation. Also, we had tested this application wherein the user had initiated the leave request and it went for the approval. Now, in this class, what we will do is, at the time when the task went for the approval, so they were not seeing any details on the screen. So this we will resolve in this class. Now, what we will do is, we will see this UI. If I look at this web form wherein the user enters the details over here in those fields, so the details will be captured under the from date, reason and to date. So these are the fields in which the details will be captured. Now let me just go to my process and go to the data association. So in the data association, you can pick those details what user has entered. So that is over here in the input, it will show all the details what is entered by the user that is in the form. So my leave form argument is the name of my leave form, that is the argument which it has created. So it is of object type, which is having to date, from date and reason. So in reason, user will enter the reason for leave, from and to date as the name specifies. So these are the duration between which user has requested for the leave. Now this we can store in some kind of data object. So data object is nothing but is the variable what you can create in the process automation to store the values. Now if you click on this data over here, there is an option to create the data object. So by default, when you create any process automation, it will create task outcome data object. So this will be used in order to capture the outcome of the human action. That is, whether the approver has approved, rejected, or what action user has taken. So that will be available over here under the task outcome. So this we can assign to the variable which it has created, that is task outcome data object. Now coming to the input, so here we have to assign the values what is expected by this form. As we are making use of the same form, that is to accept the details from the user as well as show the details to the approver. Suppose if you are having a different form, then as per the form arguments, it will show what details it is expecting. Now we can directly map input argument from here to the input for this human task. But what we will do is, instead of doing that, we will demonstrate how we can create a variable, assign value to that variable, and then assign the data object or the variable over here in the human action. Now first, we will capture the details what is entered by user over here in the initiation request in a variable, that is by creating a data object. Click on this create data object, go to the business type, and here we can select my leave form. So by default, there is a business type created for every web form, so which will contain 3 parameters in our case, that is from date, to date and reason. In your case, if you are having n number of details, then your leave form business type will be having those details. Now let me name this as input details, or I can name this as input form details. Click on create. So we have created this input form details data object which is of type web form. Suppose if you add one parameter in the web form, this will be automatically updated. So we don't have to come over here and update. So this will be taken care by Oracle. Now first, we have to update or assign the value to the variable or the data object which we had created. So the data object, whichever you have created, it will be visible over here. Just drop it over here like this. And from the input argument, we will drop this my leave form argument and click on apply. So what details user has entered in the form, we are assigning to a variable. Next, when the task gets assigned to a manager, we will assign that value or the variable to the web form argument. So this is over here. So this leave form, what manager sees, so this should be populated with the data what we assigned over here, that is in the data object. Click on apply. Now in the output, what we had done is, we can assign the what action user has taken, that is it will be visible over here under the task outcome, like user can approve, reject or do some other thing. So that we will assign to task outcome data object. So this is the default data object or the variable created by Oracle when we add any human action. On apply. Done. Also what we will do is, we will send a notification whenever the task has been assigned to a specific user. So by default it will be disabled, we can enable. So we will see how to customize the template and all at later point of time. On completion also, we can send a notification. On assignment also, we can send a notification, which means when a task is assigned to a user, then it will send an email notification. Suppose if the user completes or takes any action, that is approve, reject, in both the cases, it will send the email notification. This is what it means. So this will be under notification. First you have to select this. Earlier we had seen these properties. Now we have to go to notification and uncheck this disable. Done. Let me just activate this. If the application is already active, you will have to deactivate and purge. So in the production, it is not advisable to deactivate and purge. You have to create the new version of application like we had seen in our earlier class, and that you have to activate. If we deactivate and purge, all the tasks whichever is pending for user's action will be killed in the production. So which is not advisable. Let me just activate. Done. Let me go to workspace and initiate a request. Go to start request, select our application. I will tell over here going on a vacation. From date I will give as 18th and to date as 22nd of November. Click on submit. The user has submitted a request successfully and this is the instance number. Let me go to the tracking and see if something got errored out. If something got errored out, here you will see error. In our case, it is in progress. Now, if you want to track the details, you can just click on audit and see what user has entered. It is available over here. So next action was this approve or reject leave application. So we had mapped the data, what we had got from the input over here with the help of data association. So those things will be visible over here under the tracking. So you can click on this view input output for this human action. So here you will see what we had mapped in the data association. So same has been passed to the web form and it is waiting for user's action. Now if you just open this, you can see approve reject, because in my case, I am the initiator and I am the approver. But in your case, if you have assigned the approver for a different user, then it will be waiting for that user's action. Now, suppose if the action is pending for your manager, then they can go to this and go to the team task. So if it is assigned to them, then they can go to the my task. In my case, it is under the team task. Let me just open this and I will review the details. In the previous class, when the approver had opened this web form, he was not seeing this details. Now they are able to see because we have mapped over here under the data association for this web form. That is by creating a data object. Now I will click on approve. Done, approved. Now let's go to the tracking. Now it is showing completed. In this class, we had seen couple of things. We had created a new swimlane role over here. We had assigned the users and we had assigned the human task to this new form. And the user was seeing couple of buttons, that is approve and reject. That is, if you see in the action over here, you are seeing approve and reject. So these buttons are displayed based on the value what you enter over here. Suppose if you approved, then it will show as approved over here and the rejected, something like that. Also, we had seen how we can enable the notification. So we will see this concepts later as well, but this will send the email notification to your mailbox. That is on assignment and completed. Also, we can modify the template. So this supports the HTML template in the email notification. And there are other couple of options available at the time of recording this class, which we will see in our next classes.